What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel and the video review of the ASUAV, or the Awesome UAV RS220, the 220mm FPV racing drone. This one, however, is the PNP version. It also comes in the BNF version with the Fly Sky i6 transmitter. It comes in a full-blown 3K, full-blown 3mm carbon fiber. It's got 1mm carbon fiber top plate, side plates, and the top plate on the back as well. Now, when you take a look at this quadcopter right away, it is slightly different from the rest. It's got the antenna right on top of the top plate where the action camera normally is positioned here. But there's the transmitter. It is standing straight up and down. And as you can see, if I flip it over, there's the bottom of the transmitter. As you can see, there's the plug and the bottom portion of the transmitter there. There's a couple of, or 4 rubber landing pads in kind of on the center of the quadcopter. It's probably better to place it over here, but they're using the screws for the standoffs for the top plates to hold the rubber footing or the landing gear. Now, I found that kind of difficult to move around. I tried thinking about moving it around to the back of the quadcopter so I can put a action camera up in the front, but the wiring that connects the VTX to the main board is rather short, and it's placed right around here, and the wiring that comes off the VTX to the FPV camera is rather short as well. So it will take some doing to move it around, maybe to the back or something. You're probably going to have to drill a hole or add something else. I didn't feel like doing that. What I'm going to do, however, is I'm going to use one of this type of action cameras and just place it right on the top here, and maybe perhaps give it a slight tilt. The antenna, however, is kind of in the way for a full tilt. And I tried using one of these circular polarized antenna that can bend, so it'll give me more room like so for the camera, action camera. But I found this dipole antenna to be pretty effective. And the fact is, the RPSMA female that's coming out of the transmitter is rather short because of the grommet. The rubber grommet, or the gasket. So when you place it like this, it still moves around no matter how tight I make this, and I did use a wrench to tighten it up. The antenna still has some play, so I decided, you know what, I'm not going to tighten it anymore. If you really want to, you can cut up the grommet to screw this down all the way down to the VTX, but I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I tested it with this dipole antenna around the house. I walked around the other side of the house with a monitor, and it didn't break up. It is a 600 milliwatt transmitter, so a very powerful transmitter, guys. So be careful with that when you're flying with somebody else. Now, one more other thing that's kind of odd is that the XT60 plug, the power plug, is right up on the front as well. Usually you see those in the back sticking out or sticking up, but this one, however, is in the front. Now that really doesn't bother me that much, because when you put the battery like so, the plug is right in the front, so that's actually pretty decent. It's not hanging out. You don't have to worry about the props in the back hitting it. In the front is short enough, and it's right on the top. So it works out. I'm going to try and fly it with some 3S batteries first. This ESCs are 12 amp BL Heli ESCs, and they are rated 2S to 4S. So I am probably going to fly it first, break it in with some 3S batteries, and then perhaps try out the 4S battery on the sequential flights. Now, this thing has a 700 TV line, 5.8 gigahertz. This transmitter is a 32 channel transmitter, and it has the dip switches right on the inside there. I'm not sure if you can see that right up in there in the back. Easy to access with a needle. It's very simple. There is a instruction manual, and I will check out the instruction manual right here. And what it is guys, the right three switches, the farthest to the right switch is nothing there. You don't move those. The second to the right and a third to the right, those are for frequency. There's 4 frequencies. You can set it to 4 different frequencies. And there's 3 dip switches on to the left. Now you can configure those, and those have 8 channels. So we have 4 frequencies and 8 channels, total of 32 channels. So you can configure those with that dip switches. And I had to reconfigure it from the factory dip switch settings because it didn't correspond to the Fat Shark. So but now I got it set up, so it has no problem there. Now it is a PAL system, and it has a 2.8 millimeter lens. Now the power distribution board and whatnot is a 5-in-1 integrated FC control system here. The flight controller is actually another piece that is pinned down from the top. It also has a buzzer, and of course it has the LED lighting in the back. Now this comes with Clean Flight. I believe it was 2.0, and the Clean Flight configurator did not even recognize it. Wanted me to upgrade the firmware, but instead of upgrading the firmware, I went straight into Betaflight and flashed Betaflight. But I did copy the CLI dump of the LED lights and put it in a text file. So I have the configuration for the LED lights, and I've installed Betaflight 3.1.0. I kind of like that release. Very nice for me, stable for brushless motor quadcopters. And this one here comes with a 2205 2300 kV brushless motors, and it comes with these bullnose dual bladed props. It is King Kong props. It is a 5045. If you can read that right there, it says 5045 on there. So kind of strange that quadcopters nowadays all come with tri-bladed props, but this one comes with dual bladed props, and they give you an extra set of the same color props. On the product page, you got 4 green ones and 4 red ones, but you know, they just put whichever color they feel like putting in the box, I suppose. And I'm kind of happy that they gave me all red ones, so in case I damage one, I can replace the just that one, and I won't be off colored on those. It also comes with a antenna mount, as you can see here. That is a cool looking antenna mount, and it came in a package like this, and it comes in little pieces. You put it together. Got a adhesive tape and 1 screw left over. I think they just gave you 1 more screw. I don't think I misplaced the screw here, but instead of using the double-sided sticky tape, it does have a little notch where you can slide it in the back, but there was no place to put the double-sided tape. I couldn't figure out where to put the double-sided tape, so I just placed a drop of hot glue on the plastic itself before I slid it in, and it seems to hold it in place pretty good. So if in a crash, if it falls off, that's fine. This is a PNP version, as I mentioned earlier, and it does not come with a receiver. So I did provide my own receiver, and I did use the XM Plus receiver, the FrSky XM Plus. It was very easy to connect it. It came with some wiring already attached. As you can see on the side here, there is the micro USB port to connect to your computer, and right above it there was the PWM connection port where the spaghetti cord of the PWM wires were connected to. So I unplugged it, and they provide you with a S-Bus connection wire as well, and the S-Bus connection wire was right up here on the flight controller. So plug that in, and I was able to route the wire to the back, and right here is where my XM Plus is sitting, double-sided tape to the bottom, and the antenna wires are coming off, and that was a perfect fit. So I'm really happy with that. Now it has a ASUAV 12 amp BL Heli ESCs, like I said, and supposed to be able to handle 2S to 4S, so we are going to check that out. And let's see, I think that is just about it. The camera tilt, man. Well, this is the highest the camera will tilt up. It's not that much, and the reason why, it could go a lot higher, it could go all the way up here, but as you can see, I can tilt it all the way down, and I was able to tilt all the way up, but the VTX is in the way, guys, of the camera tilt. Can you believe that? The VTX is right there, and the camera is hitting the VTX. So this is the highest tilt that I'm going to get. Looks like around 25-30 degree angle tilt. So when I place the action camera up in the front here, what I'm going to do is make a little rubber up tilt pad. I've kind of already made one. So it looks like this here. I cut out a little oval for the antenna. I'm going to place it right here. So as you can see, the antenna will not be blocked by the foam pad somewhat. I could actually cut it a little bit more just in case I get the foam pad in the view. I haven't tried it out yet. This is just the preliminary setup here. So the antenna is folded back, and I'm going to place the camera right up on here. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this camera or not, but anyways, I'm going to just zip tie the thing right through this way instead of a Velcro strap going around it. So, because there is no place to put the Velcro strap over here, but there's, however, a couple of holes right on the top, ventilation holes or whatnot. So I'm going to put some zip ties through there, bring it out through here, and go around the camera this way. So hopefully that works out. Now I think that is just about it. I'm not going to go and open up this thing. I'm going to just show you a couple of photos. So here's a couple of photos. All right, let's check it out with the 3S battery first. All right, it is ready to go. I'm not sure what that is. At idle, the throttle is all the way to the bottom, but the motors spin by themselves just a little bit. So if anybody has the solution for that, please let me know in the comments down below. All right, so let's go ahead and arm it. All right, let's take off. All right, so far so good. I did a very small hover test in the garage, but you know, that's just to see if it floats in the air. But this is my first takeoff with the RS220, and it's sounding pretty good, and it feels very smooth and very nice. Nice controls. Not bad with the 3S. Oh, looks pretty promising. I haven't flown with 3S in a while, and it's feeling pretty good. Not bad. Okay, let's do a little punch out with the 3S. A pretty decent amount of power. So far so good. Nice and smooth power on 3S. Nice. I'm liking it. Pretty decent, pretty decent. All right, we got a 4S battery hooked up to it now, and it feels like it's got a lot more power here. Yeah, pretty decent amount of power. It is not a screamer though. And it loves to float, this thing. Yeah. Very quiet. Not that high-pitched noise. The motors make a nice dull sound noise. Pretty good. All right, let's do a punch out, 100% punch out. Pretty decent. It's pretty decent. Like I said, it just floats in the air. I got my throttle pretty low. Takes a sweet time getting back down. I don't see any oscillations and no prop wash, so that is really good. So let's put on some goggles and try some FPV with the RS220.
I know where we can go. I know where we can go. And it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. I know where we can go, where the sunrise lasts forever, and it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Come get lost with me. 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 Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. you.